Pastor Jeff, this morning I stepped in the water.
And the water was
and the
cold.
water was cold. It chilled my body. It chilled my soul.
Man.
It chilled my grandmama's soul. And she been gone for 20-some years.
It is the worst.
We had a baptism service, and due to a mishap, we had to refill the pool this morning with cold water. Brother.
At least it was 60-some degrees today.
Not inside. Not in that pool, it wasn't. I mean, I told the candidates they got baptized. We had 5. And what hurt me was 3 little ones. I could see it on their faces when they got in. And I said, y'all ain't never gonna forget this baptism in your life. If this don't save you, nothing will.
Absolutely.
If this don't save you, and I felt bad because we talked about this before the show, I had the heavy rubber waders on.
Doc, them things is a lifesaver. It's the first time I've worn them. And all the
I'm
churches
not ever baptized without them.
I'm like, how did I ever do it? Because I mean, when they was talking about how cold the water was, I was like, it's really cold. I had to put my hand in there. I was like, oh, it is cold.
Right, there's icicles in that joint. Man, I mean,
those waiters is heaven sent, Doc.
Man, next time we just gonna fill the pool and put all the pops for the church picnic in there to keep them cold, because that's basically all you need. But that was our last baptism of the year.
Wow. And
I was grateful, man. I was grateful. And I want to make a shout out, to my boy, Ethan. We had 5 that we baptized and welcomed into the church, and 6 more came down and then responded to the invitation. I think they've all come by what we call Christian Experience.
Right.
And the last one to come down was Ethan's football coach.
Wow.
From this past year.
Wow.
And I shout him out, Coach Gooch, Coach Thomas. We call him Gooch. And he came down. I seen him back there, man. And okay, so I hope he's not watching. But y'all know how we had that one person and we just honing in on him. Mm-hmm. And you're not calling him out by name. You're not. But I just know, brother, it's your day.
Yeah.
It's your day.
Yeah.
And he made that walk. And I was so proud of him, man. And I said, Ethan, come down here, man, and greet your coach. You know what I mean? And Ethan, he didn't got his barber. He didn't got his coach.
Ethan the evangelist.
Boy, add him to the list of apostles doing the work of the Lord. But it was a good day, man. How was your day?
It was absolutely phenomenal, man. Great. We have at least one to baptize next week. We had another one come down for baptism on Christian Experience today. So we're really excited, man. She's a young lady, man, too.
That's good.
She just said, she's like, I've been baptized before, but there's just something different about here. And I said
that's good.
It's just a beautiful thing, man. So,
I know he knew I was talking to him. That's right. He knew I was talking, but there's nothing wrong with that. So I used to feel, speaking to that you want to be cautious about calling folk out,
right,
so to speak. But you do remember, these are souls at stake.
Right.
And souls that you love too. You don't just random faceless people in the crowd. I mean, I'm looking at somebody that I love, this young fella, and I see his passion, I see his heart. I've been saying to my wife for years that there are people, and a lot of them are coaches like Coach Greg, who are working in the community, working with the people that the church is trying to reach.
Right.
In the spaces where the church needs to be. And they're good in their hearts.
So we're just gonna start calling people out now.
Basically,
let's just start calling people out.
I want all the teachers, all
come
the coaches.
Come on, Butt Button Boo Boo.
Listen,
Craig, come on down here.
No. But you got to be, and I'm not saying it, but the influence that they have already, and they won't become perfect people, and that's a whole nother show, a whole nother subject of.
Mariah was supposed to get baptized today?
Yes. She was on the list. She had been come down, but had just been waiting for the right time when she could come. And then she had to, all right, y'all. Okay.
The water was cold today.
The water was cold. So you missed, you actually got the blessing.
You lucked out.
Mariah, you got the blessing. And yes, we're finally on time. We got threatened. I'm going to go ahead and just spill the beans. Mother Marsh threatened us.
This is our New Year's resolution to be on time for today.
We're
before the New Year's.
We're starting earlier. Might as well have this New Year's resolution because I ain't going to Planet Fitness. But I have this thing about influential people who are just good people. And I don't mean to be funny, but I think the church chases the gutter too much.
Absolutely.
when we should be really pursuing everybody. And when I say the gutter, I'm not saying anybody is gutter or worthless or hopeless, whatever. But it's like we have this appeal that is always like, how horrible is your life? How broken are you? Instead of knowing that there are people who are all right, but not with Christ.
For some reason, we believe that the highways and byways got to go through the Highland homes, and nothing wrong with the Highland Road. Yeah, you know what I mean.
But the highways go through Beverly Hills too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, they go where the professionals work.
It was funny because I was on the phone. In fact, we had a funeral at the church, and one of the funeral director got on with me. He said, "Well, I just want to make sure that everything was okay." And I was like, "Listen, all of this is in the purview of the trustees, and so I leave that in the trustees' hand." He's like, well, being that I was an ex-trustee member of Second Baptist, he's like, I just want you to know how grateful I am, brother. You own a funeral home. You don't have to be ex anymore.
Yes, you don't have to be ex nothing.
We need to talk, Doc.
We need to have a whole conversation.
We need to have a whole conversation, exactly.
Well, welcome to Religiously Incorrect, everybody. I love it.
Greg, you know him, Greg. Todd didn't know about him.
He said rip to one of them. That's hilarious. You calling out real names out here.
That's it.
Oh, man. hey, y'all. We're going to do our intro a little bit different. Let's show y'all Mike playing at service this morning, man. Mike jumped on the drums. We had a mishap with our drummer. Mike jumped on the drums. Go on ahead and play that clip of Mike. This is Mike on the drums this morning, y'all. I don't need no sticks.
Nothing.
Hey, you got all the hell that lockdown,
and
man.
Fingernails will work.
You got to listen, fingernails making it happen.
What's funny, the first pair of sticks I picked up, one of them was broke. I'm hitting the hi-hat and it's real loose. I'm like, what is going on?
We're a black church, Mike.
So I was about to play with my fingers.
What would a black church be without broken sticks sitting on a drum set? And you think you about to play, and that mug just split off right in your hand. Because when we break our sticks, we just throw them down and leave them there. Right. And people really think, and we'll play with them. Yeah. We'll play with them. We'll put the broken part in our hand and play with the part that still works.
That's what I did.
Hey, but he really got on today for our first song. Our guy who is faithful, he's a good brother, had a car problem, just couldn't make it from where he was, so we had to just do it with the click track. But the click track wasn't click tracking enough.
It wasn't click tracking.
And hey, he brought out that progressive Church of God in Christ.
He said Mike Part Jamaica.
Mike Part Jamaica. And the meme, hilariously, is the same song we sang this morning, Jesus Will. But you are watching Religiously Incorrect.
And we are brought to you by the African American Community Fund. The African American Community Fund, established in 2020 at the Foundation for Appalachian Ohio, supports Black-led and Black-serving organizations throughout the 32 counties of Appalachian Ohio to elevate the quality of life and address disparities in African American communities. Please check them out at www.appalachianohio.org, or you can call them at 740-753-1111.
Well, no, Miss Janice, you were not seeing things. He did hop on the drums real quick, and it was a good move. It was a good time, man. So we're grateful. It's the last show of 2024, brother.
Oh man, it's almost over.
Can you believe this year is over in a couple days? I mean,
I can believe it because it's my anniversary on New Year's Eve.
It is.
I can believe it, Doc. Hey, how was your Christmas, man?
Man, Christmas was amazing. We had a good time, man. I got my boy. He's at that age. I got Elias a weight bench.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Got him a weight bench.
Okay.
So now he's officially at punching age, you know what I'm saying?
That's funny because my wife bought me some of those adjustable barbells.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, from 5, because I got 15s, 25s, and 30s. She got me 5 to 50, 58 or something like that.
Grover said when I saw him on drums, I said he's still only going to get one check.
Mike was like, double up on him.
Mike is like, I'll take any check right about now. I'll take anything. Mo wants to know if we're hiring for 2025. I don't know. We might have to do auditions. Mo, but you know what? She'll be in front of the line. She'll be in the front of the line.
You definitely have skipped the line, Doc.
Right. Christmas was good, man. Enjoyed it with family, man.
Absolutely.
Just chilling out.
That was my first year in a long time. I actually, I'm always generous with my kids, always, obviously. But
Of course, man,
I just really went out, because it's my wife and I will have been married 21 years on New Year's Eve. And so I finally bought her another ring.
Oh, did you?
I went deep. I dug deep, Doc.
Brother.
Right.
I put a hole in my pocket, Doc. She out here looking like Bugs Bunny. She got carrots.
Brother.
You understand? She out here talking about, what's up, Doc?
I hope Shamika ain't happening because listen, all we have is, I got nothing but love for you, baby.
I've got nothing but love for you, baby.
Oh, man. So, hey, we got to give, as part of our first things first, this is a kind of a somber first things first, but we got to give a shout out to former President Jimmy Carter. Who passed away today at the ripe age of 100 years old. 100. Somebody said once he saw that Trump got reelected, he wasn't living another 4 years. He said, Lord,
let me go.
I'm
done.
Thine eyes have seen the glory.
Listen, when he saw Musk was running the country. But I want to give a shout out to Jimmy Carter for this reason. For those that know history, and I am like a documentary history buff, I have been stuck on these Winston Churchill, World War II. My wife said, if I hear Hitler one more time, I think you about to start the Third Reich, Fourth Reich. But Jimmy Carter had a very, very difficult presidency. He was this incredibly decent, humble man, this peanut farmer who became the governor of Georgia. And I mean, he just rode in on a wave of like, essentially goodness, so to speak. But he ran into like a buzzsaw of problems. I mean, oil crisis, hostages, just ridiculous stuff going on that it was just one of them difficult times in life to be a leader. So he was only a one-term president. And of course, Ronald Reagan followed him and the country fell apart. But no. But what I wanted to say to that is,
your brain on drugs.
Right, listen, just say no, kids. But what I want to say is, he showed us what it means to be a statesman and not to try to center himself or pursue past glory or run it back or whatever. I mean, he became like the most beloved statesman of the last 50 years. I mean, building houses,
right?
Still teaching Sunday school, at his home church, being like what an ex anything should be.
Right.
An ex anything. I don't care if you're a preacher, CEO, public servant, whatever. He pivoted and used his goodwill and the relationships he had built over his career and put it back into serving the world in the most humble way you can possibly imagine. And so I just want to give that shout out and love. And I mean, he wasn't even president when I went around when he was president. I came in the Reagan years. First president I was aware of back in the day. But I always knew who he was and what he stood for. And so God bless his memory, man. I mean, he just really, if he's not an example of what it means to pivot and make something good out of your life and not try to live, and replay past failures. And I don't want to call his presidency a failure.
Right.
I'm just saying it was a difficult time. And thank you, Jason. He did inherit a lot from the Nixon Ford administration. I mean, the country was on a collision course as it was. It was what
Absolutely.
it was. But it was a tough time for him dealing with it. But man, I mean, it's a big loss. And don't we always have these end of the year deaths?
And we had quite a few of them this year.
I mean, we had some deaths. What are some of the deaths, Mike? I know you got a list somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to read them off to you real quick. First one was Dexter Scott King.
Dexter Scott King, right. Martin Luther King's son.
We had Louis Gossett Jr.
Louis Gossett Jr.
Oh, my goodness. That's what was he in?
Don't say the wrong movie.
No, what was the name of it? I can't think of the name of it.
Different World?
Louis Gossett Jr.
There it is. There
Top
it is.
Gun?
Top Gun. Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a show.
Yeah. No, I said movie. Yeah, movie.
Next we had hold on, where is it at here? James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
The Voice.
Mufasa.
Earl Jones
The
passed.
Voice.
John Amos.
John Amos. Good times, brother.
Keeping your head above water. Temporary layoff.
Good times. And that was a messy one, man, because we didn't even know when he actually passed. He was, you know, his family is in and still is in turmoil.
You know, we while we doing this, we should just do, because we had Kwanzaa the other day, so we should do libations.
Don't start pouring out
Do
water in here.
libations.
And the thing is, that
Officer and a gentleman, you're right, Tatum.
nobody knew he was married to a white woman until after he died.
Who?
Listen, John Amos.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. Yeah, we had O.J. Simpson, right?
OJ died.
OJ.
O.J. died. See, y'all forgot O.J. died.
Frankie Beverly.
Y'all forgot Frankie Beverly. Before I let go. Mr. White Party.
Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart. Did he?
Yeah, he passed too. Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Kansas City Mac. That would be the one you know. That is comedy.
Sissy Houston.
Sissy Houston.
Houston.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Sissy Houston.
Let's see, Quincy Jones.
Quincy.
Quincy passed too.
I just left Detroit too, boy. I
You just left Detroit? Yeah. You stopped by the museum, didn't you?
Stopped by the museum.
Yeah, man. It's been a tough year for the
One
culture,
thing I
man.
found out, man, was crazy there that, you know, at that time you were only allowed to play three music from 3 record labels. So that's why he started all those different record labels, so all his music could come out.
Ah,
man. So,
gotcha.
so, you know, he
You
gave.
talking about Barry Gordy?
No, Lord, I'm talking about Barry Gordy. It's a different person, or
Yeah.
same person.
That's all right.
Tito Jackson.
Tito Jackson did die.
Yeah. That was a
God, I
shocker.
forgot about
Tito
that,
Jackson
man.
did die.
Tito.
Greg Gumbel just passed. Jason just,
I didn't know that.
Greg
You didn't see that? That just happened.
Yeah,
The other day.
Day before yesterday, Carl Weathers.
Man, Carl Weathers?
Yeah.
Apollo Creed?
One of my favorite actors right there, boy.
I cheered when he beat Rocky's butt, boy, the first time, man.
When he was running, he's like, "There is no tomorrow.
Right.
There is no tomorrow."
It's been a rough one, man. We lost some good ones, man.
Anybody else? Is that it, Mike?
Some rappers, man, but y'all don't know.
Well, I don't want to know.
Lil Baby died.
Nah.
Lil Nas X.
Oh, Ricky Henderson. My dude when I was a kid, man.
I don't
Ricky
even know who that is.
Henderson?
Baseball player.
Oh, I don't watch baseball, man.
Oakland
Nobody
A's.
watch baseball.
Man, get off the show, man. Stop the show.
Ricky
Only
was
person
that
I know to
dude.
play baseball is
Man, get out of here, man.
King Griffey Jr.
Ricky Henderson, the all-time greatest base stealer in the history,
He's better than Dion.
killed Dion.
Just playing.
He's like one of the top 10 players
Wow.
of all time. You know
Now,
Ricky
seriously,
Henderson?
I'm serious. I was
Jose
never
Canseco,
a
the Bass
baseball.
Brothers, Mark McGuire.
I know Mark McGuire and
No, I'm talking way back. You know, before they was detecting the drugs, before they was testing.
was Sammy Sosa.
Bash Brothers. No, I'm talking Bash Brothers, like late 80s, early 90s, the Oakland A's.
It was football.
And by the way, the
football and
Oakland A's
basketball.
then lost their team, man. Oakland has no teams now.
Oakland A's lost
The A's are going to Las Vegas,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, they moving to Vegas. Yeah.
The Raiders went to Vegas, the A's went to Vegas, and the Warriors are in San Francisco.
And what's crazy is I used to buy all Oakland A's gear.
And didn't know Ricky
not
Henderson?
one of the people on their team.
Bruh.
The green and yellow was cold, Doc.
Bruh.
Their unis was cold.
Nikki Giovanni.
Wow.
Oh, man. You know,
Eddie Levert's daughter?
she had a white wife, too, by the way.
Who, Nikki?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I didn't know she was married to a woman. Okay.
Yeah. A white woman.
All right.
And I injected it, but
See, he knew King Griffey. That's all we know.
that's
King
the only
Griffey.
bass player I knew, too,
all
because I thought Kim Jong was That's comedy. Hey, did you say, you ever hear the joke about Ricky Henderson, because he used to always talk in the third person. He'd be like, Ricky this, Ricky that. If somebody was like, hey, Ricky, you know, do you go to church? Somebody was asking about, they said John 3:16. She was like, I don't know nothing about no John 3:16, but Ricky's hitting 3:30 right now. He said, Ricky don't know about no John 3:16, but Ricky's hitting 3:30 right now. That's crazy.
Man, R.I.P. to all those, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace to all the heroes.
I forgot OJ died. How do you forget OJ died?
Because he is so problematic, we wanted to forget he was alive.
I guess. Yeah.
Come on,
You just
man.
wanted him to stop. Just, dude, you
Dikembe
out,
Mutombo.
man. Dikembe died?
Yeah, he died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but what were you saying about OJ?
Just, you wanted him to just shut up and live his life, man. Stop.
Get off social media.
Yeah, just, you know, you got away. We kind of happy you got away. We know you done it, but we're kind of happy you got away with it.
Yeah, you had your 15 minutes of fame.
You know what, Dan? Like
being popular with black folk, but
back then, though, you couldn't tell older black people that he did that.
no. You still
They wasn't having it.
no, man. It was a different time.
The juice is loose.
The juice is loose.
Right.
He loose somewhere now.
Right.
The juice is on fire.
That's why they had to come up with them whole new, what's that truck, Broncos. Like, we can't even sell these no more.
Right. We'll rip to all of them. In case y'all didn't notice, we all got the bug in here, so we in quarantine.
I had it last week.
We ain't allowed to go home.
I had it bad last week. Now
Yeah, man, just
better.
catching up. Well, we appreciate you all watching. This is the 2024 year in review, and before we jump into meme of the week, we want you to get ready to start. Yes, the real killer is still out there, Scott. He's still out there, and the estate of OJ is still doing all it can to find out who he is. But listen, while we do meme of the week, we want you to share some of your favorite memories and stories from 2024. We're going to talk about stuff that came up, that made the headlines, that had us talking, that had us debating. But right now, y'all know what time it is. One more time for the 2024. It's time for meme of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
we are. These are all jokes. We are just playing.
All right, so if there were to be a phrase, and I want you to share your phrases, if there was a phrase that defined 2024 or a phrase that was viral, I'm not talking about just out in the world, but in the church world. One of those phrases, this is a couple years old, but 2024, it just continued to explode, and that was church hurt. Church hurt. I mean, there's about to be whole college courses about church hurt, you know. But there's a brother who, out of the goodness of his heart, might have a solution for 2025 for church hurt.
Okay.
I introduce to you the Church Hurt Hotline.
Hey, where you going for lunch? Oh, I ate shut up outside yesterday. Hey, oh, I gotta call. Church Hurt Hotline had me assist your call. Absolutely. Give me one quick second. I'm like on my computer. How you doing today? All hurt as usual. You know, there's no hurt like church hurt. All right. Could you just give me a little bit of detail on the situation? They won't listen to you. Won't take your ideas. Okay. Maybe one more. Nobody will let you lead a song. Absolutely. Well, it looks like you're eligible for our entitlement package. That gets you a move to a different church where you get to flourish your gifts. And it doesn't matter if you have the Holy Ghost or not. They're going to allow you to do it because they have nobody else to do it. All right. Sounds good? All right. Let's sign you up.
That is the Church Hurt Hotline. Do you think it would work, Pastor Jeff?
It'll be ringing off the hook.
You'd be ringing off the hook?
It'll be ringing off the hook, but ain't nobody got no answers because half of these people hurt themselves anyways.
Listen, brother. I think his name is Will Johnson. He does church comedy and stuff like that.
Okay.
I missed the front. I don't know if you missed the front when he said I already had shot Talaba for lunch yesterday.
What'd he say?
I already had shot Talaba for lunch yesterday.
Shut up about.
But I love it, man, because I mean I don't know what else to do. What else is there to do at this point except create a hotline where people can just share their stories. Now, I want to be real clear. We've said this before. There are real, and I mean real church hurt, abuse, manipulation. And I'm talking, people being blasted out there, being embarrassed, personal information being put out there, people preaching on you by name over the pulpit and your issues or your scandals. But what he mentioned, stuff like nobody listens to me, or I didn't get to sing, or I'm not flourishing in my gifts.
Let somebody else sing my solo.
Mo is volunteering to be the dispatcher for the SBC Church Hurt Hotline. What if every church just said, for the secretary, press 1, for the pastor, press 2, to share your church hurt story, press 3? It would be filled. Now, have you ever heard like church hurt, like after the fact, and you wish somebody just came and told you probably could have?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably could have just.
Absolutely. Because some of it can be, resolved. with just a good talking and, bringing some people together, but let's be honest, some people, you might not have a church hotline, but you got your gossip buddy.
You got Facebook. You got Facebook. I mean, we're all the devil on Facebook. We're all the devil on Facebook. And that's one thing I'd like to say is if there is some things we need to leave in 2024, that's believing everybody's story at face value about anything. I mean, about anything. Because there's really always two sides to one story. And I do believe the year of 2025, I really do believe, if I were to prophesy on this podcast,
prophesy, Doc,
I would say that this is going to be the year that we reach a tipping point in Facebook stories and claims and accusations, social media, just stuff getting out there. It's going to reach a tipping point because now people have gotten to the point of absolutely no filter. There's nothing I cannot say about you, about the church, about a pastor or whatever, that a group of people will not take at face value and essentially ruin a person.
They can do anything they listen. Me and my wife was listening to TikTok this morning on our way to church, and the girl was just going off. Y'all understand? It takes a bad MF to be a spiritual person. I mean, it's just going off, and cussing, and I'm like.
And talk about God.
What in the lukewarm?
Listen.
What in the lukewarm Lucy is going on here? It's just crazy.
Oh man, K1's asking the question: what's your church hurt? That's a good question. What's your church hurt?
Wow.
Silence.
I mean,
I'll tell you what my church hurt is, and I'll tell you what my church hurt is, and I did experience it these last couple of weeks with my public service, and obviously it bleeds into my pastoral work. Is spending literally my entire adult life serving my community, and people jumping on a bandwagon as soon as my integrity is questioned. Not that you should ever think that a pastor is incapable of not doing the right thing, because we're all incapable of doing the wrong thing, but to so quickly assume that it could or should be true. And honestly, it has nothing to do with sometimes with personal feelings or factual feelings, obviously, but just sentimental feelings that everyone who's doing well or well known or whatever must have some scandalous side or lack of some integrous lacking side. And all it takes is one person's claim to expose all of it. And you can't bury as many people as I've buried, served as many families as I've served, and I'm just talking about myself. I'm literally just patting myself on the back and engaged myself willingly, sometimes at my own detriment to my family and my own sanity and my own, rest in a community. And then as soon as somebody, and to know people that come to my church or I have ministered to in my community have spread and shared it without talking to me, that's church hurt. Because I know that my ministry will not end to them.
Right.
And they will very well have been a part of perhaps lessening my reputation in the eyes of others while still benefiting from what God has given me to do in this life. That to me is church hurt.
Right. Well, I really don't want to talk about mine, not because I just don't, because, but most people know it. Most people most people were there. You know, most people saw the Facebook post. I was called to a church and
That was a hurting thing.
And got literally left the church I was at. Heard a whole lot of people who was under me got called to the church, and the last day of that church, I left the church, and literally as I was on my way up the street, got a phone call.
Got that phone call.
They got that some things had been switched up.
Yeah.
And so it was a
And it's one thing to hear about because it's not a new story.
Right.
But to endure it.
yeah. And I mean, you know, we can go and we can always say, you know, for me, you know, all things work together for the good for those who are called according to his purpose. Because, you know, I think things worked out the way they were supposed to work out. But yeah.
Right. Oh, bless you, sister. That's a deep one. That's a deep one. Everyone in church knowing that things are not well. That's a deep one. And we love you and appreciate you. She's down in Texas now, right? Love you and appreciate you.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, so pastors have church hurt. Now, some pastors take it like a clapback. Like, y'all don't really know church hurt. Church hurt is when y'all don't show up to church. And I'm like, all right, come on, you know. But I do think that there is, if you sincerely and graciously, like you said, you talk about your experience, that's a hurting thing. And I talk about my experience, that's a deep thing. But also, you make a choice not to cling to it, you know, not to hold to it.
Absolutely.
And so I really feel like I think we should turn the corner. One thing I will say to the flip side of the trend of the church in 2024 is I have seen people return to church. And I don't mean any harm by this, but I'm just going to be blunt. The right churches are regaining their footing.
Absolutely.
The churches that have ministry,
Absolutely.
the churches that care about people, the churches that are community engaged, churches that are connected to the culture are regaining their footing. Tiffany's church was getting baptized in the pool, and the pool
you know, that
wasn't
was
heated.
us doing that.
That was us?
That was us who done it.
Where?
At a God.
Really? Why wasn't it heated? We just didn't like you, Tiffany. Nah, because we went through that this morning, so I know that hurt. That's a feeling. But the flip side is, back to that, is we are seeing, I'm grateful, Second has seen wonderful movement in spite of some very tough times. And when I say tough times, I mean economically, the community is still not doing as great as it was. We're still sort of reeling and rebuilding. And to see a continuous flow, I'm seeing people go to church.
Yeah.
And I do think that while we need to keep our foot on the gas pedal, the fear that everybody's just going to watch and nobody's going to show up, I don't think that that's the end of the story for most of us who are really trying to do quality ministry in a way that people want to be there and be a part of it. There will always be watchers now, and I think that's a reality we just live with. But I think if you encourage people the right way, you can push them. I want to touch on Mose, because I know this wasn't the subject of the show, but it's a good place to just talk. Mo says, I feel like church hurt is an older crowd thing because I never hear anything about church hurt amongst my age group. Y'all don't go to church.
And I mean, if they did, it's very sparing.
Very sporadic. And what I'll say to that, Mo, is you're right. And it's something we've talked about in the dynamic before, that your age group, which is younger millennials, are often tied to a detachment from church and an image of church that is mostly through social media and TV and shows and very sporadic engagement, where really all you kind of get is the hurt part. Because they're not in it as much to have those other experiences. I mean, there was stuff that we were raised on, like, yeah, we got hurt, but we also had fun in church. We also had heroes in church. We also couldn't wait to grow up and be a part of the big church and to go to the big concerts. And I feel bad that your generation, Mo, for instance, coming up, which you're probably one of the last ones, if you went,
I think
didn't have like the big church to go to.
But
it's
so much that they didn't get cracks, they didn't get paddles.
Yeah, y'all
half
didn't
of them
get a
get
lot.
whoopings.
Y'all didn't get a lot.
You know, they didn't get a lot. You know,
They missed out on a lot of good things.
So I mean,
But
y'all
that's
got church hurt, but they just don't have it. You know what I mean?
That's my argument, and I hope it continues in 2025, is that the resurgence of the church in certain areas will help people to see the value of the church and the broadness of the church, and that there's a holistic experience here, and not just like what K1 is saying, just the mockery of the foolishness. And to your point, Vernell, yeah, you have some pastors, but we've often taken the minority in those few cases. And, one bad apple, and I hate to say this because we say it about police, we say it about, politicians, we say it about everything, but the one bad apple, and that's the story we talk about, when most people do have a healthy relationship with their, pastor, or at least we're wise enough to know, because everybody's preaching it, ain't none of us perfect. I don't know where these people are at now, preaching this, we're so perfect and we're so holy and we're so righteous. Matter of fact, most people have fallen over themselves to tell the world how screwed up they are.
How unperfect they are.
I mean, you got preachers talking about how much they cuss.
That word, what is it? Transparency.
Authenticity.
Everybody wants to be everybody wants to be authentic.
I still drink, I still smoke, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we don't even live in this world of this holy roller. We don't. And so it's like that image exists because there's so much imagery of it, but the reality in pews and in churches, it doesn't exist like that. And some of it's like a somber pivot for churches that were that way. Now they're saying what they never would have said 25 years ago. They never would have admitted to imperfections. But now they know that people see through it.
I mean, we had pastors.
You might as well say it before they say it about you.
Well, we had pastors back then. You didn't even think they used the bathroom everybody else.
Yeah, you're
they
right.
were so staunch and so, just, it seemed like, and then you come to find out that they made just as many mistakes as everybody else.
Oh, man,
so it's almost like, what, I'd rather just admit, that I'm not perfect.
They got about 5 mistakes taking them to child support court right now.
You know what though? I'm, thinking back, I think a lot of them thought they was better than everybody else too.
People treated them like they were better.
Well, you know what?
I
think to be honest with you, most of them were doing and have done and did do and are doing is just as much dirt. They just hadn't got caught.
Well,
and until they get, and once they got
we
caught.
lived in a world of protecting our heroes back in the day.
Yeah.
We lived in a world of protecting our. Remember, once upon a time, people wouldn't talk openly about the president having an affair. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't even admit FDR was crippled. You know what I mean? They wouldn't show a picture of the man, with his braces on his legs.
Right.
We joke about John F. Kennedy and stuff now, but you couldn't talk about that. They would protect that.
Right.
So
yeah, that's true.
All people of prominence back in the day had this protectionism around them. And there's no protection like black protectionism. And what I was saying to you, Mike, about they thought that they were better than others, what I meant to say, I guess more appropriately, is that it was a two-way street. They didn't do it by themselves. Okay. Because our people have always been hungry for heroes, and usually a singular hero.
Yeah.
We would put them up, and either if they didn't start that way, they would sometimes end up that way. Because if you got enough people worshiping at your feet and acting like you're God and everything you say, and we experience it with people like, well, I know if you pray for me, I know if you give me advice. After a while, you can't help but get a complex if you're not careful. So the one good thing about this kind of evened out world in social media is that it has kind of leveled the playing field for everybody in a way.
Yeah, you're right.
And so you can't be above everybody too much because you can't be as secluded as before and nobody's hiding you. And we all know that people will not protect you like they did 40 years ago. They would be eager to be the one to break the story. To say, I saw Pastor so-and-so walk in a hotel room or this, that, and the other. And I add one more caveat to that. And it feels like the most hatred is directed at the ones who they cannot pin something on. Who they cannot pin something on. You can watch, I put this on Twitter the other day. It's my safe space, so y'all can go ahead and just look at my rantings now. A drug dealer, pimp, some fast chick out there can flaunt their life, their body, their car, their ill-gotten gains or whatever. But a morally upright person cannot express any confidence without being called arrogant.
Absolutely.
That's the world we live in. Literally, you can destroy your community and drive the fanciest car in your community and wave stacks of money on Instagram, and nobody will say you're showing off. Nobody will say you're arrogant. They'll say you're wrong. You know what I mean? Or we know he about that life. But literally, if you're like a compassionate, competent, morally upright person and you show the slightest bit of self-confidence,
they flossing.
You think you're better than everybody.
One thing I've learned, man, and one thing I'm learning more and more every day is myself, we can't go anywhere without somebody. And I don't know half the people. At halftime, we walking out to my wife was like, "Who is that?" I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea who it was.
I have no idea.
Nah.
But they know you.
Hey, pastor. Hey, pastor. Hey,
But
how
they know you.
It is. You cannot just be your normal goofy self.
But to Sarah's point that the church drama has gotten to the point of a Tyler Perry soap opera, it always was. It's life drama. People have drama, and some of those people go to church. Period. You have drama wherever you're at. Mm-hmm. You know, y'all got work husbands, work wives, and you know, stuff going down in the break room. Church is not exempt. The only thing that has changed is us being more transparent and authentic about it, and most people are. Now, let me just add to that one thing about protect. It's just common sense that if somebody's doing mess, they ain't gonna tell the world. You got skeletons in your closet, duh. Where do you keep skeletons? Not on your front porch? I mean, what are we talking about here? So I agree that church drama is what it is, but it's always been what it's always been. And I just look at it more of a human nature kind of a thing now than I look at it as church is so bad. It's, again, I think it used to be the pure expectation. It used to be the pure expectation that church folk are supposed to be better than this. I don't think it's pure expectation anymore. I think it's cynicism and almost waiting for another fall to justify what you already thought.
Yeah.
It used to be, I can't believe it. Now it's, I knew it.
Right.
I told y'all.
I believe also to that point that, you know, I think we live now in a day and age where grace has become, you know, just this coverall thing.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That, you know, we've all sinned and fallen short. You know, everybody messed up. He's only a man. You know, there are still some things that should not be named among us.
Any of us.
There are still some things. And I say, listen, trained dogs don't go in the house.
That's correct.
At least they go outside.
At least find wood somewhere. Y'all hear that, sneaky preachers? Be sneakier. In 2025, be sneakier. All right. So let's talk 2020. Oh, we got to thank our sponsors.
These sponsors right there.
Let me hit the sponsors up real quick. Want to thank Phillips Family Care of Businesses, Phillips Lawn Care Services. You might have to read these, Jeff. I got a fit coming on. In business over 10 years. We appreciate their service to the community, summer, winter, spring, or fall. Call them, hit them up, and they will be there to serve you quick, fast, and in a hurry. While you're at it, check out Phillips. It just jumped on me, y'all. I promise you I was doing well today. Phillips Cleaning Service, residential and commercial, floor cleaning, basic cleaning, upholstery, wood cleaning. Don't waste your time. Let them do it. Call 330-219-7916 or hit up Phillips Care on Facebook. Planning the perfect event? Look no further. At Annex Events, we've got everything you need to make your event unforgettable. From stunning tents, comfy chairs, and all the extras, we've got you covered. Super Bowl parties, graduation parties, corporate events, and of course, church banquets and anniversaries, including church hurt anniversaries. We cater to all, plus our friendly team will handle the setup and breakdown so you can relax and enjoy the day. Call Annex Events and let's make your next celebration a hit. Mention religiously incorrect and receive 10% off your first rental. Call 330-2909 or visit annexevents.com. I need some tussin'.
Some tussin'.
I love that, Sister Janice.
Yeah, that's powerful. It was one person.
And, you know, we don't like to believe it, but someone doesn't have to hurt you directly for you to be hurt by what happens in the church. Absolutely. And I think Janice is referencing that to a point that when leaders disappoint you, and honestly, in a defiant manner, where a leader that's hilarious. Reading it over 4 years and still doesn't know it. I think that's harmful, and that's why we have to be more careful about how we live before people. You can't stop accusations, but if you really are dealing with something, be honest about it.
Absolutely.
And deal with it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk 2024. First of all, what were the biggest stories of 2024 to you?
Well, the biggest one, obviously, was the orange man getting reelected.
The orange one.
That's the biggest.
We should have church hurt anniversaries.
Have a banquet for him.
Banquet and everything.
And the war goes to the biggest church hurt.
Right. The Hurties. we gonna have an award show called the Hurties, and your prize is a broken church fan.
Broken tambourine.
The orange one will be assuming office again. So I have a question for you, Pastor Jeff.
On MLK Day.
Martin Luther King. What blasphemy?
I mean, and you know he gonna use it.
What blasphemy?
You know he gonna use it.
Right. He's going to mention Martin Luther King, and it's going to be bad. So here's my thing. We fought tooth and nail to get him out of office in 2020. Do you think, in hindsight, that was perhaps harmful? Because now, instead of 8 years of him, we've effectively had 12 years of him. We're going to have 12.
I agree with you that in hindsight, it probably would have been better just to let him go ahead and run his course. But I don't think anybody in their right mind actually thought he would win again.
I do.
I didn't think there was.
When he started beating those cases, and Joe was looking frail, that gave me the idea.
But I thought Kamala came in there with some. Kamala came in there with some good energy. I thought she
had 90 days, man.
I know she had 90 days, but I thought she came in with energy. And I mean, the numbers literally was like, she about to blow this cat out.
But we have to stop trusting these numbers. We have to stop trusting these numbers. How many times have they been wrong? The numbers said Hillary was going to win. How many times have they been wrong? I mean, and so, I mean, not just his win, but I hate to say I told you so, but I will. The shifts that have occurred in the electorate, including blacks, Latinos, they said just about every county in America, except for a small minority of counties, shifted right.
Yeah.
Now, there are some people, and I'm glad you just said that. You're right there. Misinformation and uneducated voters came out in record numbers, is what Starr says. I agree. But I also think that people voted for what they wanted, and I believe they voted for what they did not want. Okay? Scott says the harm was voting him out of office and propping up a corpse who didn't succeed at anything promised. I'm not going to say he didn't succeed at anything promised. I mean, his Build Back Better stuff has put real money into pockets and done real infrastructure work. I think that some gains were made, but I think that, and I'm going to continue to say this, people are delusional about the electorate and what they really want and don't want. And we just don't want to feel that way. Somebody said it like this: progressivism has become the new conservatism because things have progressed so much in the way of rights that remember what conservatism is and what it means. It's literally preserving what has been or what's been established. Okay? You know, originalism, the Constitution, all that kind of stuff, right? That's what we call conservatism. But progressivism has been moving so-called forward. Rights, civil rights, gender rights, all of these things, abortion rights, all that stuff.
Right.
Well, it flipped. We started working to protect what had been won. Mm-hmm. We started working to protect what had been won. And that, I think, has created a different dynamic where the conservatives feel like they're the ones moving forward and we're the ones staying stuck in protecting the Civil Rights Act, protecting abortion laws, preserving. And I also think that there are a lot of people, brown people and black people included, that are not in favor of the ultra liberal agenda. I don't care which way you try to twist it or turn it. But there is just not a comfort, and I would count myself among those people, with everything that often dominate the liberal positions. And we have to come to terms with that in a real way. There is a real serious backlash against
I do agree
liberal-
with you, but I do believe there are a lot of people who are comfortable with it. I believe there are a lot of people who are still just, that's who they are, that's who they've been, and that's who they're going to be.
Is that bad though?
Oh, I think it's bad, but I don't see it changing either.
I think the bad thing is that I still don't believe that it's still a system beyond a person, but he is a more dynamic and almost unstoppable force of nature that we just don't have.
Well, and I've said that from the beginning, that he said exactly what he wanted to say, exactly what came out of his mouth, exactly how he felt, and we don't have anybody who's willing to do that. We don't have anybody who's willing to go that route and be that.
I think the ones who do will be disagreed with. And I'm telling you, the people are telling you to your face, and we keep saying, I know Tiffany disagrees, but people are telling you to your face, I won't vote for a party that literally just throws transgender in my face every single chance they get. They're telling you to they're telling you to your face, and you're like, well, I think it's something else. No, we're telling you, and you don't have to like it. It's just what is. And so what we're seeing, I think, is a crisis of having to wrestle with the reality of who we really are, and not being in favor of who we really are, because we pushed, I think, the envelope too far.
Well, see, to me, and you
and I think Scott just spoke to it. Thank you for saying that, Scott. The problem with progressive ideology is that there is no limiting principle. There's no place where you can define that you've gone too far, or you're going too far.
So tell me this, because I see a dichotomy here where you have people who are not going. You just said it. They're not going to vote for somebody who is going to throw homosexuality, lesbianism,
These
all
people
that
that
stuff.
can't tell me what a woman is.
Okay, but
They cannot define a woman at this point.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, though, then
That's
you
madness.
vote. But it seems like, on every show, there's not a show that don't have it. There's not anything in the news and the media that doesn't have it. So where's this line at? Where's this? You know what I'm saying? If everybody is doing it,
Everybody's not doing it, though.
but they are.
No, it's being portrayed as if everybody's doing it.
I'm saying it's every. No, I'm not saying everybody, because obviously we're not doing it. I don't agree with
it. But for instance, if you were to look at social media, I'll give you a perfect example. If you were to look at just going by social media and pop culture, you would think that this is the most oversexed young generation in the history of the world if you went by what you saw.
Right.
But if you actually go by the numbers,
Right.
young people are actually having less sex than their parents and grandparents did.
I agree with that.
They're having less promiscuity than their grandparents did. Right up until Roe v. Wade got overturned, they were having less abortions than their parents and grandparents did. So what I'm saying is, that's the problem, is that liberalism, in my view, is a big show. And that was a big part of Kamala's campaign. It was a celebrity show. And celebrity shows are not everyday Americans. Nobody gives a crap what Meg Thee Stallion thinks. Nobody cares that you're having campaigns with all the greatest rappers. That was the problem. And you have black men in Chicago saying, why are the immigrants living in all our schools and getting these checks? They're like, hey, at least tell me what's going on. You're doing rallies with every Hollywood star you can find. And so that's what I'm trying to say.
But he was doing the rallies with him too, though.
He had no real people that nobody cared about. Everybody who Trump had was washed up.
Kid Rock. Kid Rock, really?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But he had what we call uneducated people, but they're everyday people. And there are more everyday people even among our ranks than we want to admit. Even William Barber says so. The great civil rights leader of the Poor People's Campaign says that it's not even about race as much anymore as it is about class, and the real partnership, if you would, the real collaboration now is between poor white and black people who often think the same. And so I just think we're not honest. And I think the story is not just the election, but the reckoning behind the election.
Okay,
because where is this? Democrats still don't have a good candidate. Period. and they still don't have a winning message. And here's the worst part of the reckoning. Trump is no longer the villain and the buffoon to America that he was 8 years ago. He is shocking to nobody. Whatever that results in, I don't know. But what I'm saying is the blunt edge, the sharp edge has been blunted and softened. And he's become familiar. And somebody actually wrote articles. There have been articles written, the danger of that kind of familiarity and comfort.
Yeah, if you don't go to jail, it's really.
He ain't going to jail.
Ain't going to jail.
He ain't going to jail.
So
what's the other big story, would you say, of 2024? Y'all can chime in. What's the big stories of 2024?
what was another big story?
Lately, we had all these drones over on the East Coast.
Drones.
What's going on with that?
UFOs and drones. Do you think aliens are real?
I don't think so.
And if aliens are real, do you think they can be saved?
So, you want them at your church? Come as long as they pay tithes.
They can pay in space dollars.
I don't think Grove won't like them too much.
Grove?
If you don't go back to Mars.
Oh, man, Darren, wait a minute. The biggest 2024 story for me was seeing Pastor Johnson play the piano. Is that right? He didn't know I played. I only know 3 songs. Yeah, Apostle, I am actually
Oh no, he's a beast.
honored.
He is
really
a beast.
I'm honored.
He is nuts.
I've hung up my keys years ago, and I only pull them out for rehearsal.
I got all kind of videos, Doc. I'll
got
send them
all
to you,
kind of
Pastor Thomas.
videos.
He will
All
kill.
kind of videos.
He will kill. I used to sit there and watch him shed and just
go.
try to come up with new beats.
Right. Okay. Glenn said
Oh, my
Mike Tyson
God,
stepping
yes.
back in the ring.
And getting beat.
That was the second big black loss of the year. After Kamala lost, that would made it worse for us. I'm telling y'all. The election being a loss for a black woman, and then watching Jake Paul defeat Mike Tyson.
I don't care. Look, I watched him train. He ain't throw no punch that he threw in training.
Training ain't fighting.
It is fighting. I used to box.
Training
you
ain't
train,
fighting.
You train the way you get in the ring, and it was not
Training.
the same. Something was going on there. That was fixed. Everything was fixed.
Everything was fixed?
Everything was fixed.
Okay. Anything else?
Oppression at its greatest.
Oppression at its greatest? Top more than... Oh, this is a good one, Scott. This is a good one. The big story of 2024 is that people have given up on mainstream news and moved to podcasts and social media.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Congratulations, we're defeating CNN now. Hey, cousin, love you. That is true. And I want to give some nuance to that, Scott. A segment of America
Right.
doesn't trust the news, and another segment of America does not engage the news as they should and as their parents did.
Right.
And I would say that there are some people who live on social media so much that whatever they read on there, that if the news isn't posted on social media. And so I guess I would say there is distrust on one side and total lack of awareness on another side, because there are so many people who just don't know the news.
Absolutely.
They don't know the news, whether it's fair or unfair. They don't even know half the time. If Jimmy Carter dying doesn't show up on Facebook, you wouldn't know he died.
Wouldn't know. I mean, well,
wouldn't know he died.
One of the things is that newspapers is $2.25. They used to be 50 cents.
Listen, and we barely.
And they only this big.
They only, I was about to say, thank God for that. That means they can only write so many
They don't even
stories
got the
about
mini
me.
page. They don't even get the mini page no more.
Okay, Tiffany says I'm tired of opinion news, but all news is opinion.
Well, I mean, I think we even have to be careful watching some of these podcasts too.
Oh,
Because
podcasts have taken over.
I mean, some of them are so opinionated.
Well, that's all. That's the whole point. Is they're shaping. And back to our political conversation, conservative leaning podcasts and alternative news source have totally dominated.
Jason,
Oh, come on, Jason.
come on, Jay.
Come on, Jay.
Come on, Jay. You had to throw that up there, huh?
We got a quarterfinal to play in on Wednesday, brother. We don't need that negativity. But that's a huge story. So I don't want to flip that. This is religiously incorrect. So what does it mean? Because news isn't the only thing that people have turned to alternative sources on, because there are people who are replacing sermons with podcasts. They're replacing church with clips and reels. They're joining prayer groups and Zooms and online ministries, and that is their fellowship. And I'm not just talking about going to church and I'd rather your butt be in the pew and your body in the sanctuary and you're watching online. I'm talking about they have made that their new reality of fellowship. Right. And so what do we say to that? So all of our traditional institutions that used to govern knowledge and faith and education and health have been given over to opinionated sentiment on podcasts and social media. That's deep.
It is. It really is.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Scott. Scott says the podcasts don't pretend to be objective. So while we say it's all opinion, the fact of the matter is the news calls itself the news, even though they were leaning in one way or the other. Right. But they would call themselves fair and balanced or objective or whatever. Whereas a podcast, at least you are being, you're just saying, this is my view.
Right.
This is my view. I think that's a good point.
Ozempic.
Isn't that the drug, the weight loss?
Yeah, it's supposed to be for diabetes, and they use it.
I just watched on TikTok that
I'm about to get on it.
Said lemon water, some type of lemon thing is just as potent or something. I got all the ingredients, Mike. I'm gonna send them to you. Though.
If you want to die, brother,
check them out. No, because you the one coming.
That's hilarious.
I got you, Doc. We gonna get it, Doc.
He got real loud and then real quiet, real quick.
Send it to me, Doc.
Send that to me right quick.
I was actually listening to a show this morning.
So what's the thing about Ozempic? Go ahead, Mike.
They was talking about it, and they said some of the ingredients, what it does, it reduces your craving for the stuff that they put in the food to make you addicted, like the stuff they put into the processed food and stuff like that. The ingredients in Ozempic is fighting that. That's why you don't crave those things. You don't eat as much.
But doesn't it have dangerous side effects?
I thought it did, but now everybody on it now, man. Everybody's.
I ain't heard no side effects. I don't know from it.
Everybody's on it. I've heard of people that can't get it, and they've wanted to get it.
It's expensive, from what I understand.
It's expensive?
Yeah, it's kind of expensive without insurance anyway.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Diddy. Let's talk about Diddy.
Somebody talk about Diddy. I forgot he was still in jail.
How? Because he sure enough ain't getting out.
But I just forgot. Like, people stories just go away, and there's still accusations coming out. But I forgot he was literally being held in jail without bail. Mm-hmm. Somebody said there was a video of him riding a bike in jail or something, like a scooter or something.
What?
Yeah, like in the open little space there. But Diddy, I would say that it's got to be serious if you go to jail with no bail. I'm sorry, stars are still stars. OJ ain't the only one that got money to get off. And if you ain't got money to buy your way out of jail, they must have some charges on you.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, because he got the money.
They must have some charges. He definitely got,
the money that he tried to pay to get out, the money he's saying that he'd give, he was selling whole houses, whole mansions to get out. And they was like, no, it don't matter.
Do you think he'll take a lot of people down with him? Still can't find baby. That's comedy. It's comedy. It's comedy. I'm not even repeating it. Y'all can read.
I don't know. I mean,
because they're suing Jay-Z.
Everybody's saying that, he got all these people. I mean, everybody's talking. I ain't seen the tape yet. They saying there's tapes out there on the dark. And I don't know. Does this dark net really exist?
Oh, it exists. Yeah, the dark web, what they call it. Yeah, it's a whole nother internet we don't know nothing about, man.
My theory.
Deeper than Safari. Right.
My theory is that they're holding him. They're not letting him out because they want him to tell on other people.
I believe that. I believe that.
And I hope he do, because it's making me mad. Everybody's talking about Diddy when I think Diddy's here in the hierarchy, and there's people.
You think there's people up there?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I know his kids are saying they mad that everybody has kind of left his side or whatever when they, you know what I mean?
Well, Jeremiah,
I think after so long, he gonna talk, because if you can get, I can tell you right now, if R. Kelly could get out, he'd tell on everybody.
You think it'll turn into like a Jeffrey Epstein situation where we never learn the truth? You know?
Listen, let me be in there. I'm singing like a canary, Doc.
Okay. Yeah, I would too. I'm a snitcher. I'm a straight snitch. The CEO of United Healthcare getting assassinated.
Yeah.
And the assassin becoming a hero to people, to some people. I think they've made like a circus out of it. Did you see that perp walk they did off the helicopter? And then like the mayor of New York was with it. Was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
They did like 2 or 3 of these things. I mean, it's like sometimes you do feel like they're trying to manufacture a spectacle so that you always have like more imagery and footage to go back to. And that was definitely one of them.
I think this whole Denzel Washington thing is starting to, because they're letting him like speak at everything now. It's like every time you turn around, he's doing a new interview, and it's like, all right, y'all killing my Denzel. You know, you killing that.
So you want the tough guy? He's 70,
No,
bro.
I don't want the tough guy, but
Let him be 70.
No, but I'm saying he's not talking articulate either.
He's not? What?
Yeah.
Unpack that.
I got to see some of the videos. I got to see, because I wasn't.
He was not. Are you saying he's not articulating his faith and like
his
what
faith. I'm talking about biblically.
Well,
Biblically wasn't, you know what I mean? We talked about it last week. He is still
He's still training,
novice.
though, right?
He's still a novice. But when you that popular and that known, you know what I'm saying? People expect him.
Jeff, I know a lot of pastors who've been in this way a long time.
Don't do it.
They still up there talking about 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, Holy Ghost fish. So I can give him, I can give him a little grace. But at his stature, I see what you're saying. You're gonna get a lot of media attention beyond the average novice,
Right?
And people who would not know expect him to know more than he does know.
Right.
And so, hey, he just got to hit that Sunday school up, man. He got to, hey, you're going to be, hey, and he's a coaching minister. So get the Sunday school, YPWW, you know what I'm saying? Evangelistic night. He got to go to all the services if he's going to get it.
He used to read the scripts.
Yeah.
He can go to.
Yeah, he's used to reading scripts, not preaching the gospel.
Right,
That's different. So back to the CEO. How do you think this is going to turn out? I mean, because they're saying that this gentleman might not get a fair trial and it might end up in a hung jury.
How can he?
Yeah, he's like our
Who
OJ.
don't know?
That is true.
Who doesn't know?
That is true. That's true. What are some other big stories that have hit us in 2024? He still got that after baptism lip.
What else happening?
The war in Israel and Gaza. Israel is taking them all on. I mean,
They ain't playing.
they ain't playing. They taking on Hezbollah. What's the other one? The one out of the Houthis or whatever. And who are the ones that came over the wall in Gaza?
Over the wall.
I mean, who broke through and they've been at war since last October?
Oh no, I haven't been keeping up.
You haven't been keeping up with Israel and the Palestinians?
No, I really haven't been keeping up.
Oh, why you looking that up? Can I just say in 2024 the Browns suck?
Listen,
Man.
the Browns,
They suck.
We're
about to lose.
the Browns.
We're about to lose our best defensive player we ever
He
had
was
in our
Batman.
lives.
Did they say that the Lamonji dude was Batman?
What?
That's cold-blooded. But no, the Israel thing, I mean, there is no end to this in the Middle East, man. And I've long said that as messy as it was, I'm glad we got out, and I don't think we should go back in.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we should go back in. Hezbollah, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
That is true. We definitely don't need to.
2 failed attempts to assassinate Donald Trump. Do we think they were real?
No.
No black person thinks that those were real.
That's crazy.
I don't think any black people think that was real.
Heck, somebody shooting up here on the south side, they hit somebody.
Listen. I mean,
No gun practice. They ain't been to a gun
so
range
what's
or
the
nothing.
real problem? Because let's unpack this a little bit. The assassination of a healthcare CEO, 2 attempts in one campaign. if they were real, but they were still shots fired. People died in the first one. People really did die. How about how desensitized we are to these things, that the most shocking things in the world don't stick with us for more than 3 days?
Like OJ dying.
Like OJ dying. Was that shocking though? I mean, is there not like a something we've crossed over that there's just there's no return?
Hey, we've flipped the switch. You know, we went from that old thermostat where you had to turn it. You know, we pushed that button down. It just stays where it is.
Like
it's consistent.
Nothing sticks with us for very long. You would stop the country in its tracks for like a month if the president had an assassination attempt, and it was like a joke the first day.
My wife asked me a question the other day. She said, "What?"
And I was doing the joking.
My wife asked me a question. She said, "What was the biggest story you can remember in growing up?" And it was the Challenger. I mean, they rolled the TV into our room.
Yeah, we seen that.
And they stopped. You know what I mean? You stopped school. Mm-hmm. And it was just, you watched over and over again.
For me, it was
that's church hurt.
That's church hurt.
That's church hurt. Having to watch this rocket blow up over and over again.
And there was a teacher on board. That's why all the students were watching. The students were watching because there was a teacher on board. And that was supposed to be this big prideful thing.
Right.
And, you know, I watched a documentary about it.
I mean, it stuck with me for days and days.
Right.
You know, when 911 happened, when they went into that stuck with me. You know,
right.
It was something that I couldn't get out of my head.
Here's another one, Pastor Tatum. The collapse of retail and restaurants.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that.
The collapse of retail and chain restaurants. Y'all, they taking Big Lots from us.
Big Lots, bro.
Big Lots is bankrupt. They're closing. Out of 1,400 stores, I want to say that some company bought like 300-400 of them maybe around the country and are going to operate them. And you all know how that goes. You know, that means it's going to be like, you know, fashion from 5 years ago in there or whatever. But I mean, go back to so maybe the overarching theme is the collapse of institutions, like institutions, large institutions as we've known them, religion, retail, the news, traditional politics are gone. I mean, think about that. Everything that we used to just count as automatic, like as overhead to social life, is gone. Traditional politics is gone. You have a billionaire businessman who is just very like a caricature of himself with other businessmen running the country with no political experience whatsoever, when politics used to be dominated by like party chiefs, party heads, up the ranks, all this. I started as a precinct person, I became a mayor and a governor, and then I ran for senator. And that is like literally like a reality TV star can just crush these people in their own party, by the way, too. I'm not just talking about liberals or whatever. I'm talking in their own parties. You have people like restaurants are empty and failing. I mean, the dude that owns Red Lobster is like 17 years old, man. I mean, he's like...
Right, and I went there the other day. And I was like, no wonder nobody comes here anymore. And I only went there because I got a gift card. But...
we used to think Red Lobster was fancy eating, brother.
That was the after prom.
It used to be good, though. The food used to be good. It's not good no more.
It's not good. Portions got smaller. Prices got higher.
But do you think? Do we
waitresses got meaner?
Do we blame it on Amazon? Do we blame it on what is it, Grubhub?
Yeah, in a way, fast food. Not fast food, but like what they call. There's another word for it. It's not fast food. Like quick service food, like your Chipotle. Mm-hmm. It's not quite fast food, but it's like faster prep.
Right.
And the fact that prices have just gone so crazy that, you know, they didn't recover from the pandemic well. And what the pandemic did, just like churches, is it exposed the frailty of these systems. Like you said, now Amazon, definitely retail got killed by Amazon. But now Amazon has become a monster because I think half of the reason we can't get the stuff off Amazon that, like, I guess you could say is like important, is because somebody's buying like toilet paper off of Amazon. Instead of, you used to buy your big stuff You know what I mean? Amazon was where I would buy like a $100 Bluetooth speaker or something, or I would buy, now it's just become like, I'm gonna order some cheese off Amazon and have it delivered. So there's just this huge shifting, like this huge shift.
I guess everybody just got to be like Five Guys, because all they need to do is sell
Brother.
one sandwich a day. And
Listen,
Man.
we need 4 broke brothers.
my kids listen.
So we forget Five Guys.
Get these 3 hoes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I promise y'all I'm saved. Just going up a little bit. We missed a few. Want to catch your comments?
AI.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I put up something again on my safe space. I am personally tired of listening to people write like robots. I don't say listening, reading people write like robots. For those of us who read and write for real, I grew up loving reading, and I actually love to write. And I'm not bashing AI because I use AI in appropriate senses. Right. But there are some people who literally can't respond to a post on Facebook without AI. I mean, they can't write a thank you letter without AI.
Right.
And now everything sounds so robotic, it's almost comical.
And you do know at some time or another, people got to really listen to you talk.
Listen, we know who you are for real.
We got to listen to your real sermon at some point or another.
I mean, I have received so many letters, cards, emails, and I feel like I'm reading a 7th grade essay. Because it's like so over the top. Like people don't even just, like I liked it better when there was like, because I'm a grammar guy. Like I'm a punctuation guy. I liked it better when we were imperfect people. I liked it better when we were humans with each other. Because now, like you said, the person in person is not the person in my email or on Facebook or in that letter. Yes, Andre, thank you for mentioning that.
What?
There are churches having confessions to like an AI priest or AI Jesus.
Wow.
And there was a church in Germany that had an 100% AI church service.
That's crazy.
There's one on, never mind.
Now, speaking of AI, you guys are talking about, writing and, stuff like in literature. They have AI Instagram models now.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, beautiful women, and they aren't even real people.
They still fine though.
Yeah.
But is that not just a natural progression of Photoshop and people who have not really been their
AI is
own images
providing
anyway?
therapy. Well, I guess if you could ask them something and they can, give you the answer. So I guess they would probably be pretty good therapists.
Scott's got a good point. Teach your children to read out loud. It's become a marketable skill. I know that to be a fact. The number of people that younger people that cannot read. That's something deep. Yeah. I kid you guys not. I forget who. I think I joked with, was it Mike or Jeff? Maybe both of you. I was in a class. I'm finishing up my master's degree. Y'all pray for me. I got 4 months to go. I'm writing my thesis right now. By myself, by the way. But I'm in a class with several students, and it's discussion board stuff. Everybody is using AI, including the professor. Literally, when the professor responded, I was like, come on, dude. I mean, because that term, that is profoundly interesting. What a rich tapestry of opinions you have shared. I'm like, if I see rich tapestry one more time or profoundly sorrowful or whatever, it's like there are certain words that AI uses over and over again, especially if you're using the free version of ChatGPT, which we can always tell if you're using the free version of ChatGPT. I'm telling you, and I don't mean this to be funny, smart people can tell. Sooner or later, you're going to run into a smart person.
That's it.
And I'm not lying. I'm one of them people like, I can tell you can't write.
So what's the job market going to be like? With
It's going to follow the technology. But we already don't have to do much. I mean, let's be clear.
Well, I mean, not even the job market, school.
Life.
Kids don't have to do what they used to have to. They know that they can, you don't have to have grammar. They're not even checking because this stuff does it for them.
But they don't even check for grammar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't check for it.
They like talk about ideals and ideas and philosophies
Math.
and stuff.
Math is
But there was y'all. This is getting really nerdy because I'm a reader. There is literally like a story about how the last 20, 30 years of reading taught to our children has been incorrect. Where they did that. Remember, we were taught to sound it out. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that anymore. They stopped teaching kids to sound it out. Like this lady created this new way of teaching reading.
I hate the new web. I hate the
And
new
then
math.
now, 30 years later, they're like, oh, that was a big mistake.
Right, I seen that.
And I'm like, well, thanks a lot. My kids trying to graduate.
I mean, listen, let's go back to Carry the One.
Listen.
Could you please go back to Carry the
I'm
One?
saying, again, AI is an extension of us never having to do real math anymore. People not counting out your change. Come on, man. If that change machine goes down at McDonald's, you're out of luck. Sinbad had a story about this in one of his comedy specials. I'm talking years ago. Like when Sinbad was an actual stand-up comedian. And he's like, the kid was so confused. The kid was like, just reach in and think what you should give back. Because they just gave up on having to do the math themselves. You ever try to give somebody a 20 with a 5 with a nickel or something so that they can give you dollars back? Bruh, forget about it.
What is this? You only owe me this much.
About it. Yeah, sight words are the devil. Go back up because I feel like I missed some comments of things that we missed.
Hey, do y'all remember the
Keep going.
What was it in the library? The Dewey Decimal System.
The Dewey Decimal
They
System.
don't know nothing about the Dewey Decimal
Nothing about the
System.
Dewey Decimal System. Nothing about long division.
Long division, yes sir.
I mean, you be all the way down in the paper, in the margins, writing on the desk.
Carry the one.
Carry it down.
Carry the one.
Man,
Crossing stuff out.
you couldn't tell me nothing when I learned long division, bruh.
Because you had to do it. You couldn't just give
gotta
the
keep
answer
going.
back then.
No, you
had
couldn't.
to
You had to show your work.
Show your work. Show how you
Show your
solve
work.
the problem.
Keep going. There was one I saw. Keep going. It was before the Amazon thing, and I really want to touch on it before we go.
Hot dog
Not the
shop.
hot dog shop. No, it's.
I think this is too far.
Nah, it was something good. It was something good. Oh man. Oh, they were talking like movies and music and stuff.
Oh, okay.
What kind of music?
Well,
Were they
all it
different
was, he
movies?
said Kendrick Lamar versus Drake, which if I hear one more person say they not like us,
Now, see, what I was going to say earlier is that was in the news and on people's minds longer than some of the stories that were actually.
Because it kept
correct.
on going on and
because
on.
it kept going on and on. And I
kept
never
on going
listened
on
to
and on.
one of those tracks, but I knew that they was dissing each other, and I never listened to one song, and don't know if I'd even know who was talking about who at this point. But yeah, the Kendrick Drake thing, not the slide rule. Not the slide rule. I had an abacus, man. We used to have to count the little beads. Mm-hmm. Man, you don't know about that, man. I know about that.
Man, that was some good stuff.
But to the point of music and art, it is on a downward spiral, and now it is impossible to own media. It is impossible. Everything is being streamed or rented, and movies don't even stay in the theater for more than a week or two before they're
doesn't.
available on your
Amazon,
TV.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You-
I mean, listen, nobody knows how to dance anymore. All they know how to do is these
There's
TikTok
no dances.
dances.
Yeah, there's no real dances. Dances are
That's
gone. The dances are gone.
I'm like, what is that? That's not a dance.
Everybody
listen.
line dancing now, though.
Now, Pastor Jeff can't talk because he
They
is the
line dancing
king
now.
of doing TikTok dances with his daughter.
That's with my
Pastor Jeff.
daughter. That's with my
Pastor
daughter.
Jeff, every
I
time
would
he
do
get
it
a
with my
chance.
daughter.
I don't know,
Every time
man.
he
I
get
don't
a
I
know.
know how to dance though.
I saw one a few weeks ago. You was dancing on your way to Bible study on TikTok.
What?
You said Bible study ready, and you was in, yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah. I
Jeff
I
the
danced-
TikTok king.
see.
Oh, that was yeah.
Jeff Talk.
Yeah, that
Jeff
was
Talk.
But I can dance though.
Oh, yeah,
I can
yeah, I
dance
know.
outside of TikTok.
Real
yeah.
dancing is a lost art, but media and art in general. Because Mariah asked, "What are the biggest movies of 2024?" And my answer would be, "There are none.
There are none.
There are none.
Yeah.
There was Wicked, which I don't care about, which of course the Saints went crazy over because it was called Wicked. So there's a few people talking about watch your ear gates.
It wasn't no Marvel movies come out this year, was
Man,
it?
I'm tired of Marvel movies. They just making up Tractor Man.
Deadpool. I think Deadpool. came
Marvel
up
is like scraping the bottom of the barrel. Hardworking mom, man.
Super Roach.
Okay, Glenn brought up 688.
I didn't see it yet.
Janice, I hope you're watching. Because I didn't like it.
You didn't like it.
Tyler Perry ruins good stories. And
I heard it was one of his best ones yet.
Here's my unpopular opinion of 2024, and here's what we need to leave behind in 2024. Black people, please embrace high art and actual writing, nuance, subtlety, because it's getting bad. That is a phenomenal, inspirational story. And Tyler Perry'd all over that movie.
Did he?
It was more about this chick being in love with a white dead dude.
A white
And
dead
then
dude.
some other dude trying to get with her. And then just sassy black woman. You know, just all the same characters you find in every other movie. Super duper racist. And I'm going to rant for a minute. His writing is so on the nose. Literally, like within the first 5 minutes, the lady was literally saying, we're black and we have to try harder than everybody else. They want us to fail, so we have to succeed. And I'm like, duh, it's 1940. We know this. We know what the story's about. Like, they don't let the story tell the story. They like broadcast the story. And that bothers me because I feel like we're better than that.
You want me to tell you what bothers me?
What?
The fact that you watched that and not Jamie Foxx. That's what bothers me.
I watched it because my wife made me.
The fact that you watched
My wife forced
a
me to
Tyler
watch
Perry movie and not Jamie Foxx.
688, and my 10-year-old was saying, Mom, this is so obvious. Like, it felt like an after-school special at the beginning.
So is Tyler Perry gonna fall off in 2025?
No.
Black people won't let him.
No. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I did.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you. That was one of the lines. We are at war, but our war starts with being Negro. Negro, what?
I did like the other not Tyler Perry movie, but it was a gospel movie. I can't remember with
The Carlton Pearson story?
the young boy. What's the name of it? The young boy and his mother. His mother is a preacher. She's a real preacher.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I ain't help.
Come on, man.
Was this a real movie?
Yeah, it's a real movie.
It was like a Netflix movie. Or was this a Tubi movie?
It's on Netflix now. It's on Netflix now. But it was
Who knows this movie?
the same person who wrote War Room.
Oh, The Forge?
The Forge, yes.
I heard a lot of
did.
people talking about it, but I
did like
haven't
The
seen
Forge.
it.
I did.
I haven't seen
It was still has some of the same, but it actually has some good principles in it.
Okay, The Forge. Okay, I'm going to check it out.
I did like The Forge.
Check it out. Again, don't get me wrong. I love the story of the 688. I absolutely love it. I can't wait. Somebody told me there's a documentary. I'd probably rather watch the documentary than the drama of it. I'd probably rather watch the fast. Because when he showed the clips at the end, I'm like, I would have rather watched this. They had clips of the real people. I'm like, I'd rather watch this than Kerry Washington overacting with that same Denzel lip quiver she's been using since Scandal.
Well, I'm just happy The Forge didn't have no fake church scenes in it.
Okay, yeah.
They did have a baptism, but
did have a baptism.
But they didn't. They just showed the baptism, and that
Nobody
was
just
it.
jumped
So,
up and
yeah.
started shouting within
Yeah, it
3
was-
seconds
yeah,
while musicians with no chords in their keyboards was playing.
All right, before we end,
Before we go,
what are your predictions for 2025?
First of all, before we end, let me go here because you talked about it earlier, and I just want to throw it out there.
okay.
We have got to get back to regular crossover New Year's Eve services.
Oh man, wait a minute. We haven't touched on this yet.
We've got to get back. Listen, you cannot cross over at 3:00.
Yes, you can. Because I crossed over at 11:30 today. I told the church, I'll see y'all next week. We crossed over 72 hours earlier.
It's New
is
Year.
the
It's New
longest
Year's.
crossover
It's New
ever.
Year's at Second Baptist.
It's New Year's. It's already 2025. We didn't change the calendars. Somebody's in that church right now saying happy. I mean, so the Saints have gotten away from late night. Some of them have gotten away, and,
And
we're
I do
off and
get
on.
it. I do get it that there are
They don't
some
wanna come out
older
at
folks
night.
just don't want to come out, at 11 o'clock at night.
Hey, Pastor, if you have one, Ethan gonna be running the stream. I'll be at
Ethan, we understand. See, he won't be there. He won't be there. Some are crossing over at 7. Some are crossing over at 10. Some are crossing over at 3.
3.
My band, Bishop Thomas, he was a guest. They're having a watch day service.
The what?
A watch day service.
That's like a
Bishop Thomas, are
tailgate
you on
party.
here? It's a tailgate.
Tailgate party.
They having brats. They outside grilling. That's a tailgate.
Y'all know Bishop is the man. I love Thomas.
But that was inventive. A watch day service. Okay, that's true. Too many people are shooting. Since don't want to go home with all that shooting.
Yeah.
And you know, it's hard to get folk out on a Sunday morning for a lot of churches. And when you think about churches that have, you know, like for instance, we have musicians who serve at other churches. So I have to defer to what their churches are going to do first before I'm not going to ask them to abandon their home churches to play for us. So there's always the scramble for musicians, and folk don't want to come out. People want to be with their
All you
families.
gotta do is tell the musicians, I'll give you 100 more.
I'll give you 100 more than the other guy.
they, Pastor, I'm a little sick tonight.
Right. I'm a little.
All right, so we got for 2025.
What are the predictions?
Ohio State wins the
Jason is
national
predicting
championship.
Ohio State wins the ship. Jason is predicting.
I'm almost in agreement with the rise of the WNBA. If all of them act like the new girl, the two new girls,
Caitlin and Angel Reese.
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese want to be a
People
model.
She is a model. She said her WNBA
Oh yeah.
salary will not cover her house payment.
Oh yeah,
Nah, she only made like $14 an hour playing for the WNBA.
She said $14.
She only made like $14.25.
she got them NLR deals.
She got what?
All those deals.
Yeah, all them deals,
She got
man.
modeling gigs, Instagram blowing up. Probably got OnlyFans.
Right.
Just to subscribe.
Browns get a new stadium.
Browns get a new stadium in 2025.
They need a new team.
They really do.
Okay, I'm gonna make a bold prediction. The Republicans will be plagued by infighting because of the mix between the old guard and the new guard.
Because of Elon.
Elon and Vivek. I think there's just, and remember, a lot of the traditional people that he started with in 2016 that he either fired or quit, he doesn't have access to a lot of those party boss type people, like those lifetime politicians. And I think he's going to make some real efforts to try to gut certain government agencies. I think he's going to make an effort. I don't think it'll happen, but I think he'll make an effort and affect it enough. He said, see, I ain't watching y'all no more.
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Okay.
Gotcha.
If LeBron nor Steph wins the championship this year, one of them coming to the other team, and they still going to lose. But
You think they're going to try to team up?
Because both of them want one more championship.
But they're not going to make it.
No, they ain't going to make, but they're going to still try.
I predict the WNBA gets more views than the NBA next year.
What?
NBA is going down, man.
NBA is going down. I tweeted at them and told them this is a trash product.
Mariah get a
Mariah will get a meme of the week. Mariah will get a meme of the week. Come on, share y'all 2025 predictions before we get out of here. That's hilarious. Mo will get a meme of the week. Well, I can't think. Anybody else got any more? What are you leaving in 2024?
When am I leaving?
What are we leaving in 2024?
I am honestly, one of my biggest things, first of all, is this fat.
Oh, wow.
I'm leaving that. But that's not my biggest thing is social media,
Really?
particularly just the scrolling of social, just the,
Okay.
the
Doom
nonchalant.
scroll. They call it doom scrolling.
Yeah, just the I'm gonna make my little post and get off.
I want to bounce off of that because I'm almost there, and I've done very, 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 very well in the last couple of years, but I think I'm like totally over responding to anybody's anything. Like, I don't even care if it's a legitimate question at this point. There's no point in even answering anything there's no point in answering anything, because even if somebody's legitimately asking the question and you legitimately answer it, somebody else will jump in with their crazy conspiracy theory. Ridiculous. Okay, we got two that involve the church. Church participation will skyrocket because of the Republican administration. And Tatum says
The resurgence of
the small and mid-sized community church. I agree with that.
I love that.
I agree with that. All right. Tina's leaving negativity behind. Stars leaving whomever doesn't help in my growth. Janice is ready. Okay, thank you. Janice is ready to leave Facebook. And John, you got some words, and I'm right there with you, Big John. We're leaving some words in 2024. Narcissists, gaslighting, diabolical, nasty work.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's the end of the day.
Can't stand at the end of the day.
I mean, there are some words, trauma.
Know what I mean? All one word.
Microaggressions. All these mental health words that people just use without, and I'm not saying that if you're not a doctor or something, you can't say it, but I just feel like they're quick fallbacks that are designed to get people to like push away from them. Buzzwords. Like, if I can't really wrestle with what I'm feeling or my part in it, I just say I feel traumatized.
Judgmental
Triggered.
and negative people behind.
At the end of the day gotta end. My truth. Ooh, that's a good one. My truth. My truth. I can't think of anything else, man. I'm leaving behind my time being wasted and being afraid to acknowledge and say so. Thank you, Sister Patterson. Those words are overused, coming from a therapist. Totally overused. Everybody you don't like is not a narcissist.
Right.
Everybody you don't like is not a narcissist. I mean, you got to stop that. Everybody you don't get along with. Definitely managing my time.
And that's hard.
Ooh,
that's hard.
That's a good one, Pastor Osborne. Self-centered worship songs.
Wow.
I'm there. Circus church, Broadway church. I'm leaving Broadway church behind. Give me that old time religion. It's good enough for me.
Amen.
And I think it's good enough for a lot of people, to be honest. We're going to naturally progress and have modernity in our churches. Self-centered worship leaders. Ooh. You are so right. You are so right. You're there. You're there.
It's a lot of them.
I'm leaving something behind from 8 to 8. I'm leaving behind ineffective feel-good efforts. Stuff that looks good for Facebook but doesn't actually do any good.
Right.
Stuff that doesn't actually empower and bring myself or others to a better place. And sometimes that's hard because people would rather feel good than do good, because doing good is hard. It requires accountability, responsibility, saying no, not doing the stuff that, get you a lot of likes on Facebook, but could actually impact lives. And sometimes it's better to do more work with fewer people or impact fewer people in greater ways than to try to do, tap on the head, here's a bag of candy. I don't mind doing the trunk or treats and stuff, but I don't want that to be the main story of impact anymore. Right. Pastor Tatum says, bringing back choirs and congregational singing. We're already there.
Yeah.
Mike?
I'm leaving behind stress and worry, man.
Stress and worry, anxiety, man.
Yeah, because, I be worried about stuff that I really can't control, thinking about it, trying to make it better, and I'm over it.
Pastors, do you have schedules to maximize your 2025 health, spiritual development, professional development? Both of you have extremely busy schedules. Most of us leaders have. What does a balanced schedule look like for you? I think a balanced schedule is not so much about me not being busy, but I think it's about me being fulfilled by my busyness. So if I go to bed bone tired every night, but I know that I've done something that, first of all, pleases God, that develops my family and builds the life that God wants to have. And obviously, I'm not saying this in a self-centered way, because that's going to involve impacting and loving people, but I want to do it in a way that is fruitful and productive. I've often said and preached, but I don't always practice, that strength without strategy results in wasted energy. Absolutely. And I don't want to do that. I want to be strategic about everything I put my hands to. And so balance is kind of a weird thing for us in this life, with kids and churches and jobs and all the different things we do. I think the real focus is balancing as much of it with productive and fulfilling experiences. And I want to say that, and I've already talked to my wife about this, I want to experience more than I want to gain.
Absolutely.
I don't need to have stuff, but I want to say I did and saw and experienced and felt things, whether it's traveling, being with people I love, having a good time, having people over the house, kicking it, having good conversation on the podcast and off. Right. One day, Zed, we're going to have Religiously Incorrect After Dark when we go offline, and we be chopping it up with some. I done already got vetoed that quick. Big John, bring back the Warren City Wide Youth Choir, brother. We need some Warren City Wide youth.
Can I just add to what he just said? Because just to add to what you said, because everything you said was absolutely right. I've often said that there are so many people who mistake busyness with fruitfulness.
Very good.
And I think me just trying to be more fruitful, and not only be more fruitful, I think that oftentimes my busy schedule takes place of my family time. And I think that, I think that's one of the things I want to leave behind, is making sure that my family has the right amount of time that they need with me, especially my kids, my children growing up, being so young, and, just my wife, giving my wife the time that she needs.
I'm about to
go ahead.
I'm about to take some drum lessons so I can get them 2 checks.
Listen, you gonna get it, brother. Thank you, Pastor Tatum. Feeling the need to show up at everything because you're the pastor's wife. Listen, Shamika's already over it. She don't go to nothing. Nah. She's there, but she's definitely learned that in this balanced life, we have to definitely keep ourselves healthy. And to that point, I can't say I always do it the way I should, but I want to take better care and be cognizant that we're not spring chickens anymore.
Absolutely.
So,
accepting engagements and turning down appointments. We need to all go to the doctors. You know what I mean? Right. We need to make sure I'm 50 now. You know what I mean? There are some doctor's appointments I can't miss.
You're right.
So, just making sure that those appointments are taken care of.
Stay healthy.
That's right, it. Man. Let him in that butt, Jeff. 2020.
Why did you just say this?
I'm concerned about your health.
What is going on here?
I'm concerned about your health, man.
Get your hand out my pocket.
That ain't no pocket, doc. Man, we love all of you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I know I speak for everyone. I'll let them share their own sentiments. But y'all are the best crew and family ever. We don't feel like we have viewers. I feel like we have family. Like we call this Sunday night service for a reason, man, because we look forward to seeing your names. And it's so important. Even if you don't have nothing to say, shoot the emoji up or something, or just say I'm here, because it means so much to see y'all names every week. Wives be asking us all the time, y'all doing the show tonight? Mm-hmm. And I think about y'all. Think about y'all, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We want to be here. And I appreciate your love, Brother Caldwell, man. I loved the Citywide Youth Choir, man. I'd love to see a reunion concert. It'd be good times. I got to bail a few people out of jail first, but it'd be a good time. Get everybody together.
Caleb waiting.
Caleb's ready.
Father, we are.
He got his own mic. Jeff, you want to share any last 2024?
Just thank y'all so much. Y'all have been a phenomenal audience. I'm looking forward to everything that's going to come this year. I know we got some great guests. Matter of fact, I was just talking to Pastor Simpson before I came here.
Okay.
Nate.
Yes.
And so I told him I'd love to get him on. So,
Brother Bynum, love you.
My man. We thank you so much for all that you do.
Big Mike, what you got to say?
Oh man, the viewers. Like Pastor Todd was saying, you guys are like family. We look forward to this every week. We be tired. There'll be a lot going on, but we try to be here and chop it up with y'all. Thanks for rocking with us, man. We'll see y'all next year.
Hey, I'm gonna do like the 5 heartbeats. Yeah, I like to announce that I'm going solo. They don't want to see you, Otis. No, but it's been real. We love y'all. Thank you for sitting through this cough fest of a last show.
Yeah, really though. A couple of weeks.
Just for the record, the Steelers will be in the playoffs. The Browns will not.
Will not.
Ohio State is in the playoffs. Michigan
Browns
is not. You know, and y'all have a wonderful watch day tailgate. However you celebrate, be safe. We're praying for y'all. We can't wait to see you all next week. We love to hear your show ideas. If there's things we need to talk about, and we're not above rehashing some subject matter, and because things have changed since we first
So
talked
much.
about.
This has
some
been
of
what,
these
5
things.
years? 4 years?
5 years.
5 years.
In 2025, we need to have Scott on, and the show's going to be called White Boy Scott. And we're just going to give Scott the floor.
Just let him have
go.
at it.
Just let him have at it.
We need to have
Let's go.
Scott. We need to have Marlon.
We need to
Marlon.
start having a viewer special on just to chop it up and talk. So get it ready. But hey, man, we love nights like this.
What's that? Can we get Janice?
Kane Jr.
Can we get Janice on to do a singing solo?
We have to get Janice on just to chop it up, but we got to do it after the season is over, and she's like a month out from the Steelers losing whatever last game they lose. She hasn't talked a whole lot when they were winning, and she came back when they lost the other week. I said, here she go. This close to snoozing her. This close.
Man, you know the Browns tickets was $4 today. My brother got tickets for $4.
Listen, they paying you to go see the Browns at this point.
They need to.
Did they have any more games?
Dude, this is their last home game.
This was their last home
This is
game.
their last home game,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, God bless y'all. Bless you all. Happy New Year. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all on the other side. Peace out.
Happy
Peace
New
out.
Year's.
If you make it.
Right.
To thank the sponsors. Mike wants to thank the sponsors, but I want to thank all the lurkers who have been watching us and not commenting. I want to thank all you pastors and bishops out there.
Y'all getting y'all sermon titles from us.
All you mothers and evangelists. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, that's right.
We ain't left. We still here.
I want to thank all my haters, all the losers out there.
We want to thank y'all for listening and then calling somebody that night talking
I
about,
want to thank you for screenshotting my show and sending it to people.
you know what y'all, you hear what they said?
I knew he stole that money.
Lies.
All right. Thank our sponsors, Mike.
Peace, y'all.
Peace out.